Hi, welcome to another blind tasting of Ryan Benink's Whiskey World. Today it's time for my second blind tasting. I'm curious to see what we find out what we will taste today. The samples. I've added a couple more samples. Today there were 80 in the box. I had a nice conversation with Total Whiskey on Instagram. He's a fellow whiskey blogger based in Barcelona, and he suggested that it would be fun to see if my tasting notes would differ between a blind tasting and a regular tasting. So some of the whiskies that I have already reviewed on my website are now also added into the list, into the box. And over the next couple of weeks I might add some more whiskies that I still have downstairs, because I didn't have enough time to fill everything up. Today as well there are 3 samples that I received of the new Octomore 10s, so the 10.2, 10.3 and 10.4 are in here. I have no idea if I will be able to taste it today, because as always this is a blind tasting. So let me start by nosing it. This whiskey, I would say, is peated. It's not a smoke bump, so I don't think it's one of the Octomores, but who knows. I get some citrus fruits, a bonfire on the beach notes, which means that there is some saltiness in it, some smokiness. Yeah, so I would say bourbon cask matured, perhaps with a little bit of wine cask influences, because I get some sweeter notes as well. I wouldn't say sherry, but perhaps some French wine oak. I think that I get some Springbank influences. How do you describe Springbank? It has some peat, it has some sweetness, some funkiness. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Springbank or Longrow. Let's taste and see what we get. I would again say that it has a little bit more alcohol than 40%. It is a little bit of peppery. It is peated. I get some lime and lemon notes, some citrus fruits. I also get some dark chocolate. Some leather, not really licorice, no. So I'm 100% sure that this is a peated whiskey. It's not overly peated. I think in the categories Benromac, Springbank, perhaps the Longrow. I don't think this is an Islay whiskey. It does have some more than 40% ABV, but it's also not that strong. So perhaps a 46%. Sample is not that big this time, so I almost finished it already. I'm not sure if it's Springbank, to be honest. I got it when I took the first sip and after after nosing it for a while. But right now I'm very confused. I'm very confused. So I know it's smoky and peated. Alcohol. I don't think it's a cask strength whiskey. Perhaps it's a Benink. Could be Highland Park, but it is quite some peat to be Highland Park. So I doubt it's Highland Park. So it's a nice whiskey. You get a lovely peated note. It has some sweetness to it. I think it's bourbon cask matured. Expensive. I hope it's not very expensive. Let's say it that way. 50 euros, perhaps a little bit more. But I doubt it would be a lot more. Let's go for the last sip that I have. Yeah, it's a nice peated whiskey, not a lot of peat to me. Bourbon matured with perhaps, and I say perhaps because I'm not sure, some kind of wine finish. That's what I would say. I think it will be just over 40% ABV, but not a lot more. I don't think it will be cask strength. Age-wise, I'll go for around 10 years old, perhaps younger. It's not that it's very rough, absolutely not. No, it's a nice whiskey. I think around 50 euros. Let's see what it is. Let's find out. Perhaps I'm completely wrong. Perhaps I'm quite right last time with the Glendronach, which wasn't exactly what I said, but I was in the ball range. All right. So this is the C159. It's quite light. Quite light. All right. So the good thing is the app is now downloaded and the file is on it. All right, let's go to the C159. All right, so this is a blended malt. It's the Rock Island 21-year-old from Douglas Laing. So I wouldn't have guessed that it was blended malt whiskey. Yeah, the coastal influences from the Rock Island, I really got that with the bonfire smoke, the saltiness. I really liked it. Price wise, I think the 21-year-old is a little bit more expensive than 50 euros. So, not sure if it's that much more expensive, to be honest. I think perhaps around 80, 90. It's let me check what the price is before I comment any further on it. Perhaps I'm completely wrong with the price anyway. Rock Island 21. Alright, yeah, it should be around 90 euros. So that would be around 75, 80 pounds. Look, sorry, it's a 21-year-old whiskey. And for a 21-year-old whiskey, that price tag is nice. Would I pay 80, 90 euros for it? Perhaps not. No. If you can get it like a little bit cheaper, like let's say under the 75 euros, 60 euros, something like that, it's a nice whiskey. 21 years old. I still have a little bit left in the sample, so I'm curious if I would have guessed the age right, if I would have let it longer in my glass. Got some comments about that as well, like what would you get if you let it longer in your glass. The truth is, I also don't want to make these videos of 1 hour long. I have to check, by the way, the time. I think I need to pause it before we cut off. So that was indeed almost me running out of time on my video. Rock Island, 21 years old. Would I expect more from a 21 years old? Perhaps yes. If you liked the Rock Island range in general, I think it's a nice addition to it. I think it's not as rough as the general version was, which I actually have a sample of in here as well, of the normal Rock Island. And I've tried it once or twice before, and I did like it. For the price, it's a lovely whiskey. This one, it's something special. Not everybody will buy it. For 21 years old, for the price, it's quite good. But I personally wouldn't buy a bottle for myself for that price. Alright, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to share them with me on my Instagram, on Twitter, on the comments here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the review that I did of the Glendronach 1993 if you haven't already. Have a great day and enjoy your whiskies.